Oh, what's up, brother?
What up, man? What we doing? It's been a while.
It's been a minute.
Take
Man,
two.
I know, right? It's been what, 2 months?
2 months, man. You know, it's a lot of pandemic still, a lot of philosophy, a lot of views.
How you been?
Great. I'm gonna tell you why. Number one, um, I haven't been drinking the Kool Aid. You know, so my mind has been very clear and very open to what the possibilities of the future and what that might look like. I mean, we're being told what the future is going to look like all the time, right? It's all this like desolate land and shit and, all this stuff. It's very few people. Um, so we're getting images of what the future will look like all the time. But,
Mm,
for me, uh, my mind is sort of clear as to like how that comes about. My mind is still on abundance. My mind is still on growth and more in the sense of knowledge and wanting to seek out the answers and stuff. So in that sense, I feel good. Um, and then also, man, like I've made a lot of discoveries in these past couple months just about, myself and what I feel like I am growing towards, where I've been and what I've grown to and what I'm growing towards. Um, and a lot of different ideas and stuff like that have sort of just been dropped into my lap to act upon. Uh, for instance, um, I've been reading this book. I don't have it with me. I can't tell you the name of it right now, but it's basically been talking about rituals and routine, and in the section of it, it talks about how in your rituals and routine, you create that for yourself. You create the meaning of it. You create what it is that it is that's for you. And then as you do the ritual and the routine, that's sort of the thing that's done in the dark because that, you know, it's what you're doing because you're doing it for yourself. Uh, but the fruit of that, the the fruit of that labor is shown in the daytime. So it's basically saying what you do at night will be shown through the light of day. And I've sort of grown this routine throughout the day that I've never had before. I've never had like a straight up set routine of like, all right, I'm gonna wake up the moment my eyes open instead of like I get up and I'm staring at the ceiling for like 15 minutes,
mm,
hoping to fall back to sleep. It's like my
yeah.
body is telling me, wake up, get up, move. I'm ready, go.
Mm, right.
And it's not telling me to do anything in particular, but it's the idea that get up, honor your body, honor your mind. You gotten the rest. Like, I was at one point I was going to bed early. I was going to bed at like 10 o'clock.
Mm,
And it was making more sense to wake up at 6. But now I've been like we got a new couch in the rec room, and now I like sitting on that couch and watching something or working on something. And so I
nice.
uh I end up falling asleep on that couch,
Nice.
and then I wake up at like 2 in the morning. I'm like, oh, I gotta go to bed.
Right.
And then I go get into bed, but my body still tells me to get up at 6, you know?
Mm,
So that ritual is still there. That ritual is still. And what I found happens is on top of the ritual, uh, things just sort of fall into place. What I've been referring to as the alignment starts to happen, you know, uh, because I have this ritual. Automatically, I know where things are placed in my day
hmm.
as opposed to oh man, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, this, okay, kids got breakfast. I got this. All right, dude. Wife got coffee. My mind is like all these places, but in the ritual of things, like it's easy. Okay, this needs to happen, and the order for the alignment to take place. So the things that I don't have to be surprised or shocked or taken aback by the events that happen in my day, because I already am on my train, with the open possibility for other things, So I think that has really helped. Um, there was an accident that my father-in-law had a few months ago that had us in Arizona for a little while, and then I ended up going into Sedona while we were there, and
Sedona,
Sedona,
Sedona.
Arizona, where the vortexes are.
Oh, right. Oh,
It's like this. It's just a place like a lot of people end up going who feel, feel
how
that energy.
how was it?
And it was beautiful, dude. Like
Mhm.
like it was the first place I've ever been where I could feel. Well, no, not the first place I've ever been where I could feel the energy, but like I could feel the energy greater there than any other place I've been before. In terms of like just walking and you feel like your hands shaking. Like I could pick up uh like a little bit of dust off the ground and like throw it, and then you can see the swirls, like
Dang,
going around. Like it's just like, ooh, it's different.
nice.
But we had aura readings there. We had our auras read, and they told me and Sarah that we had, you know, awesome yin yang energy, like female, feminine, and masculine energy, or we're perfectly balanced. And we and they said her energy was off the charts, and that mine like was a good, I had a good calm healing energy.
Mm.
And they said you should be a healer. I was like, I don't know, but
Uh,
but I
nah.
but I that experience, like she talked about my health. She talked about like there being something going on about my health, and there has been like issues. So I just started like using this routine to take care of myself, man. I like start getting
Mm.
into this place where like, act like you give a fuck and you want to be here, instead of, making it seem like there's like I need to be here. Like they need me. They need me. Not that I want to be here, they need me here. So I gotta be here.
Right,
So
right.
it's a whole different attitude and gratitude that you have for life when you want to do something as opposed to need to do something, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So yeah, man, it's just sort of changed in the shower now. When I meditate in the shower. I get it. Yeah, I used to hate being in the shower for like a long time. Like it just didn't make sense to me. I didn't understand why people stayed in the shower for so long. It's like you wash your body up. Like you done, right? But
Sometimes it's therapeutic, man.
I get it now. I totally understand the time. Like take the time and you meditate and you let that, you know,
You getting steam,
yeah, those prayers are sort of getting sent faster because water travels fast. Like
and you're brushing off, dead cells, so also dead energy. So
right,
that's a good time to, you're exposing yourself to um to receive, you know what I mean? And then also you're lathering yourself, so that's a form of nurturing. So you're doing a lot of good
yeah,
things in that one practice, just you know, taking a
yeah,
shower, which could help you.
absolutely,
Right.
absolutely, and it's just like it's just something that I don't know, man. Like I didn't understand how much the ritual would help. I've been in school my whole life, and it just made sense that like in going to school, like you wake up at 8:30 and your class is at 9 o'clock, and you like, oh, I got to change these clothes. I wore these yesterday.
Right,
Just
right.
throw some deodorant on, and you just go out, and and that's not taking care of yourself. That's not that's you skipping the whole point You know, trying
Mhm.
to get them couple of extra minutes of sleep ain't worth it. You know, listen to your
Right.
body.
Yeah, man. And fighting the body is it never makes you feel any better because you're trying to gain something that's not even there.
Right.
Yeah, your body know what's real a little bit more than you do sometimes because it's only functioning off of nature. So
You telling your body, oh man, I want 5 more minutes. And your body's like, no, we want to get up.
right,
It's
right,
like you trying to trick me or something, man.
right. I'm on the clock right now. That you said.
That you said you did this. Don't talk to me, homie. Talk to your past.
Right, right.
Man,
And
absolutely.
before we got on, we was talking about how a lot of traditions from like our great grandparents didn't get passed on. Um,
Right, right. You know, there were these things, like I feel like we get somebody's story whenever we see like slave movies or anything to do with slavery or Jim Crow. We get somebody's account. We get one person's account of many people's story.
mhm.
Uh and some things can be based in truth and fact, and I can take that. But at the same also, I just think that there are a lot of people who lived a lot of different lives, man. And I found this book that talked about, my ancestors, like going like just like great grandparents, great grandparents and stuff.
Mhm.
Uh, they were, in the book it described them as, healers and herbalists and midwives and, activists and things. And before you know it, like, like I'm sort of like wondering like what happened to that, like because there's a little bit of just knowing something a little deeper, you know. And it wasn't until like later that's when people started becoming pastors and first
Mhm.
wives and things, where it was like, is that the same thing? Like,
Something happened.
something happened. You know what I mean? Like something happened in the 1930s. There's just like a very clear, like, we don't do that anymore. This is a
Mm.
new wave. This is a new generation. I
How
mean,
how
it was a lot of war at that time. Don't get me wrong.
right, right. Because
A lot of wars, the depression.
how far y'all from Tulsa?
We're in Mississippi.
Oh, you was in Miss. Oh,
Yeah,
come
it
on,
was
man.
Mississippi to St. Louis, or Mississippi to Arkansas, Arkansas to St. Louis to Detroit, Memphis, all these places that sort of surrounded
Ooh, we the whole
Chicago.
time trying to escape oppression.
Trying to escape oppression, man. Like, but then like, I'm looking at I'm just like, how, why, my great grandparents, they had like, it was normal to have like 10, 12 kids.
Hmm.
My great grandmother had 16. Her children, had at least 5 to 6 to 10.
But
Then
they also started at like 14, 15. Some of them.
some of them did, yeah. But then some of them just popping them out every year, like, Papa ain't good at pulling out.
But that's more money because you got somebody else to go work.
Is
Or
it? That's a long time. That's a mouth to feed for a good while before they go into work. That's doctor's visits and medicine.
there must be something deeper to that too. Then
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know how to take care of these kids without all of the
that commercial
the
used to make
stuff.
me that commercial used to make me feel weird. Those African commercials about all the kids being sick and not having any food.
Right.
And then I thought about it one day. I was like, why they keep having so many babies if ain't nobody got no food to feed them?
Well, here's my thing too. Is like if I'm trying to get money for something, how am I gonna get this? How am I gonna get this money the best? Like, what's the best option to get these money? Am I gonna show them a bunch of people that's fed and is doing okay, and it's like, hey, give us your money so this place can keep thriving, or am I gonna say, give me your sick, give me your poor,
Right.
let me expose them, please. Let me move them in front of the camera.
Mm.
You know, like whose commercial is going to generate more money? You know what I mean?
I think, yeah, that's true.
What's going to elicit more emotion to get that energy in motion toward giving me that money?
You're pulling on those heartstrings, man. That's what they used to do in church. They used to make people cry all the time, make them feel sad, make them think about loved ones that they lost,
Oh yeah,
and then
absolutely.
after that, ask you for money. I think one thing. Okay, so my grandma was born in 1920 in Mississippi. So okay, what was going on in 20? That's the year women got the right to vote.
Mm-hmm.
So that, but none of the women who was fighting for it were around to see it because that fight had started in 1840. So it took them 80 years to finally get it. And I think there was one woman who was still alive, but she was too old to go to the polls to vote. But either way, this new generation of people got the right. But you know, bro, in Mississippi, parts of Mississippi, Alabama, they didn't know slavery was over till about 1930 something.
Mm.
Some areas, some areas.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so you know how Juneteenth is what June 1860 what 7
Yeah, I think so.
or 6.
I might be. I'm just speaking out of turn, man.
Well, the county that I grew up in found out that slavery was over with just a month before they did, because we have our own Juneteenth celebration called May Day, and
Yeah, we got Mayday too. 1865.
so yeah, we found out late, but that don't mean that things really changed. Like, how long were they still in that mindset?
Mm-hmm.
I know about great ancestors where they were working for white men and being called gal, and that was being that was normal. So I think by the 30s something had already shifted to where anything indigenous had been taken away. So now we got churches everywhere. So
Mm-hmm.
like right after slavery, maybe a few years after that, then a bunch of churches started popping up, and then I think through the church, then all the other practices stopped.
Mm-hmm.
This is my thought. I think church had a lot to do with that. Because
Yeah.
what's the counter to it?
The
You put
count.
all you put all of that stuff away because now all you have to do is come to this building, spend a little money, and we'll forgive you for it, or you'll pray for it, or do some holy shake for it and you'll be healed. So I think that it caused them to put away older spiritual practices.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Definitely took away nature, and fast food did that too. Because at one point that didn't even exist, so they were pretty healthy, other than
Yeah.
having to eat the pig. But um, yeah, they think they let that go because then I don't know, man. I think it was just an uphill battle. So everything was taken, nature was taken away. So I
Mm-hmm.
think as nature was taken away, what they were stuck with is what they got, and eventually just let it, let the past go. I don't understand the part about, not keeping the tradition or letting you know about where you come from. Go maybe because they all forgot because nobody taught them. But
Yeah, but there was still something to be said about, I talked to my auntie about it, and she sort of explained that, like, she don't really understand, she don't know why her mom never passed on a lot of that stuff, that she learned, but her mama knew, you know what I mean, like certain remedies and things like that take
yeah,
care of it real good. And at this point, people going to the doctor and everything for everything now. Like, it's not like home remedies was even a thing anymore for real. But
mhm.
her mama always was like, "Oh yeah, get you some Vicks rub and some this and that, and find you this leaf or this flower or whatever. You mash that up and then put it on them,
Hmm.
and it'll clear right up." Or so, she was saying stuff like that. I was like, man, see, it's just this thing that like got passed on because and nobody, and that's the thing too, man. This is something that it kind of brings me to this thing. Uh Sarah had I have this issue about loyalty where if you tell me you have a problem with somebody, I immediately have a problem with that person. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I just immediately have it's a very stupid flaw to have, I feel like, because who wins in that situation? And Sarah reminds me of this constantly. Um, but it's not like I got that out of nowhere. That's a cultural thing. That's
Mhm.
like a I ride for you, I die for you kind of thing. That's like, um,
Right.
you know, I love you so much, I die for you. I
Mhm.
give my life for you.
It's a tribal
It's
thing.
yeah, it's this sort of weird sacrifice thing that like you do
Yeah.
to prove that you love somebody. So like it brought me this idea of like, what is it to love somebody so much? What is it to love to life, not to death? What is it to love to life? I love you to life. You know, I
What do you mean? Break that down.
so like you can love somebody to death, right? I
Mhm.
love you to death. I love
But
you
what
to
does that mean though? Because we say it, but I think we say a lot of stuff, and we never actually think about what we're saying. We just say,
think about what we're saying. We just know that that's like like if you want somebody to believe you, we say, I swear to God,
right,
like that's like the deepest thing you can say for somebody to believe you, right? But
right.
it's just like a weird thing. It's just one of those, I love you to death. It's just one of those weird things where you feel like if I sacrifice for you, if I give the ultimate thing to you, that means I love you that much. Like that's the
Hmm.
all this is it's the ultimate thing. I can't love you no more than that. Can't
Hmm.
love you no more than death. In death, I can't love no more. I can't do nothing no more in death. But
Hmm.
aha, you do some of your greatest work in death, right? Like you end up being remembered for things from when you were alive. So in your death, you probably even give more love and represent more love to people than you do even in your life. Because you live in your life, people can just easily forget about you. People can forget about you in death, but at least in death, they try to remember what you did in life, you know. But having that thing of I love you to death is definitely a sacrifice that people, my people especially, feel like that's like the ultimate thing I can give you is my life.
I
But
think I think that that shows where our perception on death is, because that sounds like such a big finale. Like I can't go past that.
yeah,
And a lot of what I'm learning about what we believe before Western society was that the death was just the next phase into something else. So leaving here was more of like a congratulations, see you later. I catch you in a little bit. I'll talk to you in the meantime type of vibe. So with that energy, then would I love you to death be the same?
I don't think so. You know, the weight is too heavy with it now.
Right.
It carries too much weight at this point. But
Yeah.
life should carry double the weight then. You know,
What you mean?
life should feel light, but it should definitely carry double the weight than death.
Yeah.
Why wait for death to love? That's what I'm saying. Put
Wouldn't
that
it be
love up against your life.
with that's the thing we're scared of the most, but we know the least about.
Mm,
But the only thing that we're guaranteed to get.
hmm
But the thing we don't want, which is kind of crazy. That's interesting. I wonder how long we've been that way. Uh, because it's you'll see a time period where they were talking about life being this hell or this dreadful place and death being this other grand experience, and now we're in the opposite of it where like life, like this is it, this is the best thing, you know. And then
hmm
after that, like that's it, it just goes into like this bad thing. um so Hmm. But from these TV shows and these movies and from nature, you see that the underworld is where life really starts in that soil, in the darkness, just like in the womb when a woman is pregnant. You know, at night when we go to sleep, that's when our bodies is really doing that healing. So I think that darkness, even though we're afraid of it right now, that's just something we've been programmed to be, because once we go into it, I don't know, man. I think we're you know, gonna fuel us into something, you know?
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. You know, I just definitely think that this is something that we need to. This is definitely a time where we need to tap into the I am of things, and to really be able to find a way to again put that weight on life. The same weight that we have on death, double that on life. I guarantee you there's some way of being able to love somebody to life. I
Mm,
love you to life. I love you with life.
hmm.
You know, and that just really put a pep into my step of how I love, how I choose to love, what I choose to love.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't put much energy into the election and things like that. It's just hard. It's hard. It's one of them hard things to like. Obviously, like the narrative is that Donald Trump is evil and like Joe Biden is gonna save the day with Kamala Harris, and
Well, how do we
and
get
everything
that
is
so
gonna be
fast?
okay, and we'll be back to Bill Clinton playing saxophones, and you know South Park and The Simpsons being really good cartoons again. Like it just, but I'm not here for it, man. I'm not here for it for a narrative. I'm not here for somebody to save everybody, like this is
Right.
not gonna happen, you know. It's not gonna happen, man. And I think that I'm not hearing anything based in reality anymore. And what's sad is that we are supposed to be the leaders in reality television and reality this and reality that. But
Mm,
like I'm not hearing anything based in actual reality from anybody. And that's what's sad, you know. I'm not I don't want to pretend like I understand policy or foreign trade or anything like that, any type of political science. Like I don't want to pretend like I understand any of that, you know what I mean? Because I don't. I get educated on it little bit by little bit, but for the most part, man, like I used to rely on the narrative all the time. What is the media telling me to believe? Because that's what I'll go with. Because at the end of the day, you can look back and say, well, this is what they were saying all the time, you know. But I at this point, man, I don't want any of it. I don't want to get caught up in any of it. You
Yeah,
know?
me either, man. You know, there's a pretty cool song that goes with this narrative right now,
What's that?
and the lyrics go as follows: Back to life, back to reality.
Right.
Because I think that's what most people run away from, man. Because sometimes I'm like that, bro. Like I miss the '90s, man. I feel like, and I used to be afraid to say this out loud because I thought I would be the only one who feels this way, but I don't think I am. And the the color of this reality is different than it was 20 years ago to me, or 25 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
everything around was just it was different. Like it I don't know how to explain it. Like the I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's
No,
like
they literally in the 90s, technology had hit an all-time high. Uh they pretty much made the American dream like you
that's when it was
they
a
made you be able
dream.
to see the American dream as
Yeah.
opposed to just telling you about it. Like America, greatest country in the world. It's like the Olympics, the the sports, the entertainment, everything was coming out of America or was coming to America to be showcased. And it was just like it was like the best of the best of the best. Everything was about being the best in the 90s, especially coming out of the 80s. It's all about this like sort of underdog in the 80s, right? Like coming up. And then in the 90s, it was just about, oh, if you that dude, you that dude,
Right. Like we were fully invested.
fully invested at this point, you
But
know.
what's funny, it was already people having this conversation even then,
Oh yeah.
going, man, this shit is dead, and these people around here walking around sleep, just talking crazy,
Yeah.
thinking
Yeah.
that this president gonna save them, so they're gonna vote for the next one. Like when Bill Clinton was president, they were saying
Yeah.
the same thing now. Like, oh, they trying to vote for Al Gore or George Bush. They thinking one of them's gonna do anything. And what has happened since then?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's and when I say like I don't want to, I guess like thing is that I want to be informed. I want to be involved in my politics, especially my
You don't want
local
to be
politics,
emotionally
but I don't want to be emotionally invested. I think about my dad, who's like very emotionally invested in who becomes president. But the idea of it is that, and I'm not trying to put him on blast here, but this is like many people. You don't you don't canvas, you don't phone bank, you don't donate, you don't even put a fucking bumper sticker on your car. But yet you want to be so mad about like what is going on. It's so emotionally invested. And it's like, dude, name like 4 policies from this person, man. Name 4 things that this person says that they want to do. And if they don't do it, how do you plan on holding them accountable? And if you can't answer that question, then why do you care? Why do you actually care? I mean, I'm just being for real. Like it's not
because
it.
because what I'm learning, bro, is that our minds, when we grab a narrative, we're creative. So we add other elements to it, other story bites to it, and we make them real. And so it's about being invested in the narrative. And when you do that, you're going to be invested in a way to where you're starting to care about things that you don't really care about. But you're only doing that because in order for you to be invested, you had to like add other things to this narrative for it to make sense for you. But you did it so quick, you didn't even know that you did that to yourself. Because then when you start really breaking it down, like, why do you care about this? Then you go, well, I don't know. Exactly.
I give an example. When Donald Trump said Mexicans, they're rapists, they're this and that, they're thugs and this and that. Now, if I was Mexican, I'd be highly offended. I mean, I'm already highly offended and I'm not Mexican. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'll never forget something like that. That you said that in order to get more, you said that, because you probably believe it and you wanted to get more votes. You wanted to appeal to a certain person that wanted to say it out loud but never did. So then, like, like I'll be like, man, I can't roll with that from the jump. No matter what he does after that, I can't roll with you. Grab her by the pussy. I moved on her like a bitch. Like, whoa, man, I don't need my political leaders talking like that, man. Like, I don't need a person who's representing me. When I go overseas, I'm looked at as the American who has a president that, that represents us, but all he talks about is grabbing women by the pussies. That's not cool, man. So it's like, no matter what he does, I can't be on board with somebody like that. I can't be on board with it already. Now, I don't have to get emotional about whatever he does after that because he's a clown. And you know it.
This is what I said to Nat the other day. When did we have a reason to be emotionally invested anyway? Because not one time has any president done anything to show any type of interest or emotional investment in us. So why do we care at all about any of this? Like with the idea of, when you represent me across seas, like they've never represented us anywhere. They never went anywhere and said, we represent the African American as well as the white American. No.
I'm gonna show you where I'm gonna give you a good example of what good optics for a president is and why it's important, quote unquote.
Oh, I'm not saying it's not important. I'm saying
but I'm gonna give you an example of what just came to mind in thinking about like what. Okay, so Obama, right?
Right.
You remember when was it Henry Gates, Skip Gates, Henry Louis Gates, that's his name, and he got detained in front of his house by that campus officer, and then like it made all this news, and then to like smooth it all over so nobody would talk about it anymore, everybody give a fuck. Obama, the officer, and Dr. Gates all having a beer at the White House together. And everything's fine. Like it didn't get addressed. Nothing got addressed. Systemic racism didn't get addressed.
Let's just have a beer.
Let's just have a beer, America. That's all we need. Look at this cool president. Isn't it cool? Look at him having a beer with these guys to talk out their problems. And then at the end, Henry Gates talking about, and I understand he has a job to do. I get it.
What is Van Jones crying about?
Oh my God.
That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, we gotta do we talk about it really? Because what you crying for, man? Why were you so excited when this man was
That's
These pictures last forever.
Dude. So his descendants are gonna see. Oh, he was one of them. He was one of them.
Dude.
One of them. Okay, I'm not gonna say the word.
They saying that you know what's funny is like I don't think people are really thinking or taking into consideration these lawsuits. You know, I don't think anything of it really, but I don't take it lightly. I don't think they're talking about it and putting all this stuff in your head. I said this a couple months ago. I said, why the fuck would a trained professional journalist ask the question, if you lose the presidency, Mr. President, are you willing to walk away quietly?
It had to get out because
Why?
there were hearsay that he might not. So hey, we need to put it out here so the world can see.
But the point is that it's like, okay, for instance, right? Like, is this really how a coup works? Literally, like everybody's like, dog, we don't want you to be president no more. And then January 20th comes around, he's still gonna tell somebody something. They're like, I still gotta listen to him. I still are they gonna be like Deny was in Black Panther when Killmonger became the president, and then they were like, oh, Killmonger became the king of Wakanda, and they were like, I still gotta serve my country, and but I want to follow him. Like, what's the issue? These people don't care. They just want to serve their country. If their country says they got a new president, what makes them think that this fat man in office can just say, I'm not leaving, and actually, I want you to get them out of here? Like, what? No, you're done.
You know why? Because it's mind control, it's manipulation. Otherwise, he wouldn't have even been president to begin with. So when you can have influence over people like that and inflict fear on weak-minded people, it's possible, you know, because who knows what secret people or quiet people that you never see that he's connected to that he can use to like blackmail some of these people. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how deep or how dirty it gets, but they seem to be really dirty people. So I don't put nothing past them. I watch a lot of Blacklist. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
So
man.
I know the trail can get pretty long.
Yeah, man. To me, it's just like it's a lot of stuff that I feel like uh a lot of stuff has been foreshadowed at this point, and I'm just interested again just to watch how things play out, man. Like, you know, I'm not big on conspiracy theories or like speaking on them in a sense, but I love like hearing a good one and then watching how things play out and looking at, you know, the just what's put out in front of us, you know.
Okay.
Um
So do you think Trump gonna step down because he say he's not gonna do it? And I saw that Georgia governor just said that they're gonna do a recount of their votes.
well, the very interesting thing about Georgia
Uh-huh.
is that there are 10 million residents in
God.
Georgia. There are 10 million, listen, 10 million residents, not 10 million registered voters, residents, people who live there.
Wow.
4,970 something. What was it? It was 4,972,000 or something like that. Some crazy number, a little under half of the population voted.
Whoa.
A little under half of Georgia's total population voted.
Whoa.
I'm
And
not saying that it can't happen. I'm not one of these people. But I'm just talking about based in reality. Based in reality. Georgia, over half, almost half.
or what if they did? I don't know.
I
Maybe.
mean, then more power to them. But that's hard for me to believe, even as optimistic as I am.
Oh, you're not accepting that as a truth.
I'm accepting it as a truth because that's what's put out there, and I didn't count any of the votes. I'm not in Georgia. I don't know. I didn't look at any pictures of polls or any. I didn't count. I don't know. But I'm just telling you, as a natural skeptic, I don't understand. Over half? Well, not over half, but almost half. 4,900,000, over 4,900,000 people voted in Georgia for the presidency. It just, I mean, where did they go to get these people? You know, it just 10 million residents, dog. 10 million residents. And literally under 100,000 from half
voted. So what? So ain't none of them kids.
I mean, come on, man. Like you telling me to
none of them babies,
felons,
right?
Yeah, man. Pre-teenagers, like all of these. I don't know.
But then Georgia go to it went to Biden, right?
Yeah, it went to Biden, and that and to me, it's just this is a part of the puzzle. This is just a puzzle that's forming in my head of like, oh, of course, Trump doesn't want to step down. Trump loses Georgia. Georgia's count is ridiculously close and almost half. Yeah. And then they're talking about lawsuits and suing places and doing recounts. It just all I'm saying is I want the best possible situation to come out for what's best for everyone. I have no stake in any of this, you know, in the sense of like, I mean, like I don't have relatives that are immigrants or anything like that in the country. I don't have people in my life who are directly affected outside of like healthcare, you know. But I can't think of what else people are directly affected by in the sense that people are upset about, you know.
Right. Me either.
I just don't have that, and you know, like, and I'm wondering, you know, like what it is that keeps the emotional attachment, so that therefore, like, whoever they put in front of you to say, this is the person that you vote for, this is the person that is here to save us from whatever the fuck these last 4 years have been, you know. It just, you know, just having that the best possible intentions, you know. The best possible intentions.
Do you want to be a part of it when it comes down, or you want that to happen afterwards because you know it's coming down?
I mean,
maybe they'll transition into something different in a nice, smooth way. But whatever it was before, like, and I was thinking about it watching TV the other day. I'm like, man, it's gonna be a minute before that natural emotion comes back, because you can't tell certain stories anymore. It doesn't work. So the whole influence of narratives and symbols is about to change. It's shifting, but I think it's going to shift pretty fast. So yeah, man, I see a big change happening, and I think it's happening right now. And I think what we're watching right now with this whole election is the fight and that struggle to let go of the past, because both of them look like something that represents the past. Neither one of them are sending us into the future. The
Yeah,
70-something-year-old white man, where they taking us? You know what I mean? So, you know, uh,
just saying, man. I think that I also believe in that Trojan horse theory. Also, you know,
explain that one.
um, basically Joe Biden is the Trojan horse, and he's riding Kamala right into that that upper room. You know, like that's one that's been swirling around. That's been kind of like, oh, that makes sense. You
That
know,
sounds like
what's the best way to get a woman, and not just a woman, but a black woman in the presidency? Bring
that's
her in
and
through an
that.
old white man. You
I
know, that's the only way you get invited to the dance.
don't like it. A, one, I don't like it. B, I don't know why we want to even be there. I think I think we should take advice from Michelle. She didn't want it. Michelle Obama could have easily ran for president and could have easily won because she's so popular. She would have got everybody vote. But she didn't want to do it for a reason. And I think it's
Yeah,
because
she just got done with it, and she seen what it did to her husband.
man had gray hair, bro.
Man,
So,
dude, they showed the picture year by year going down. It was just like, damn, boy, it sucked the
yeah,
life out of you, boy.
suck you. So
Sucked
I
the
don't.
life out of you
I,
like a
so,
succubus.
right. So I don't wanna shove no sister into that because what's that gonna do to her, man? That means she gotta make decisions about war. That means innocent people gonna die. That's a lot.
Yeah,
That's a lot of blood on your hands.
yeah. I mean,
You gotta be a little cold heart, a little sick to be able to handle stuff like that. You think
but
you think
at the same time, it's not necessarily you; it's who you put in charge, right? Like,
man, it's gonna be on your conscience.
eh, if I get somebody else to do it, it's sort of like, yeah, it's on my conscience, but what my
And
call?
then the other thing, how would you feel? Let's say you're a distant cousin. Let's say, damn man, that's my second cousin, right? And she get in there, right? Ain't nobody around there that look like us. So you ain't got a lot of company to whisper to, or make sure, oh, you got my back. Like everybody around her is from somewhere else that got an agenda. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So,
But,
whoo,
but
whoo.
still, is that not the environment that she's been in already in the past, like, 20 to 30 years?
Nah, that's a different seat. It's a different seat.
Yeah, it's a different seat, but it's still the same. Like, she's been up on the hill for a minute.
Nah, bro, it's different. It's different. It's different when you play in New Orleans for the Pelicans, and then when you get to LA and you play for the Lakers and you with LeBron. It's either you getting this ring or you not. Everybody watching you now. When you're in New Orleans, ain't nobody really watching you. So it's like, yeah, you playing, but you can do stuff. You ain't gotta do
Absolutely.
everything.
Absolutely.
Now it's like, no, no, no. We're gonna critique you harder. We're gonna watch you. We're gonna make up stuff about you because now you're in the spotlight. So the heat is on, baby. What you gonna do?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I
I
believe
hope
that.
I hope she watched enough Scandal.
Yeah,
But
they gotta have a real life Olivia Pope up in there,
yeah.
you
Man,
know.
I would like to see a time where we shift into where the leader is it's a dual picture where it's a man and a woman. I like that idea.
So you want a trans president?
No. I'm saying two people. So instead of one person being the face for the whole thing, let two people be the face. Uh-oh.
I mean, that's the point of the vice president, though. Like, that's the point of the president and vice president.
Bro,
Two
come on.
people.
Bro, come on. That's Batman Robin. Nobody cares about Robin. You know? Nobody cares. Like, and that tried to tell me the other day, so I'm like, oh, that's what the first lady's for. No.
Nope.
Nobody cares. That's the
Batwoman.
mystery.
That's Batwoman.
Right. She ain't even got no backstory. I'm talking about dual side by side, equal power, man, woman.
That'd be weird. I mean, it's gonna be interesting seeing Kamala and
I mean, I don't want to see Kamala and Joe like that. That doesn't look right.
But I mean, like, do you really think that Kamala's gonna be Robin in this situation, though? I look at Kamala being more like what's the sidekick that saves the day? Because the main guy is just too fucking stupid to get it done.
I don't know, but what? Okay, what do you think she gonna get done?
I think she's gonna get weed federalized, like federal weed legalized. I think she's definitely gonna do that.
Not Alabama.
Not in Alabama, you don't think? Never know, man.
You know who just became senator?
Who?
Tommy Tuberville.
The football coach?
Mm-hmm. And he Trump all the way.
Yeah, but they like making that money.
That's gonna be a big thing. I can't wait for it to happen. It's gonna be.
Man, you can't deny that dollar, dog. Like that's just number one, man. Like, you know.
But I think they're afraid of that shift. They're afraid of shift of power. A lot of black people got a lot of land in the South, and a lot of black people smoke weed. So you open that economy up for them. Then you're not fueling your jails anymore because half of them in there for a weed charge. So you're not making money that way no more. You don't really know how to cultivate the plant the same way they do. So you're not going to make as much unless you get that tax. So it's not as lucrative for them, unless they stronghold us. But that's the whole, whole thing.
All right.
But they just holding on, man. You know what this story is? Beetlejuice. Yeah. So you died and you don't want to leave the house. It's time to get out of here.
It's time to get out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
Daylight coming.
Go. Absolutely. Yeah, man. It's just been a time where it's been like no other time. This has been a time like no other time.
Right.
And it's been nice to really be grateful for what I have. The biggest enemy to having what you want is wanting more. And you don't want to get caught in that trap. That's a complete trap.
Yeah.
Be grateful for what you have. Find that alignment for yourself because that's where your purpose lies. You know, uh, and your purpose isn't something that you just name. Your purpose is what you live.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can't say that, oh, my purpose is just helping people because you can't say it. You just got to do it.
So you gotta be it.
Yeah, it plays out like that. Like, oh, that's a helpful motherfucker right there. Like that's how people see you, but it's not like
Right.
it's not a thing where you say, well, my purpose in life is to do this. It's like, well, you don't tell people that, you just do it, and you are that. You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What's up,
so
Nat?
it just makes more sense.
Yeah.
Nat.
You want to get in here when we getting out?
I know, right?
Yeah,
But yeah, man, I can't tell you how much I miss this platform and being able to talk with you, man. I hope we can get Duncan on here soon and be all laughing together and stuff, man. I hope he's doing great in North Carolina.
man.
You know,
Indeed.
uh, but yeah, man, I'm just so grateful, dude. Thank you so much for one more time.
Thank you, sir. It's been great as always, man. Uh, yeah. So let's keep that energy in motion.
Let's keep that energy in motion, but not in the ocean of politics.
Not politics.
All right, man.
All right, bro.
Love you,
Have a
brother.
good night. Love you too,
Peace.
man. Peace.